Sadly, assassinations will come to define the 2025 news agenda. From Ekhuruleni financial auditor Mpho Mafole to Brakpan crime fighter Marius van Merwe, several South Africans have paid the ultimate price for simply doing the correct thing. Our senior investigative journalist, Sikonathi Mantshantsha, is live on the line with us now to make sense of all the izinkabi's bloodshed this year.
To know when the next episode drops, hit the like, follow, and subscribe buttons on our YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast channels.
A special and genuine thanks to each and every one of you for listening, commenting, and sharing the lead on News 24 this year. With more than 150 episodes under our belt so far and broadcasting 4 times a week, that's Monday to Thursday, our show's racked up around 900,000 listens thus far. With our shared pursuit of quality journalism, we can continue to tell the South African story in truly unique ways in 2026. Happy holidays. Look after yourself, please. Buckle up and avoid drinking and driving. My name's Graeme Raubenheimer. This is The Lead, and this is the South African story. Sikonathi, welcome to the show. I really do appreciate you having on.
Thank you, Graeme. Thanks for the invitation.
I've got a little surprise in store for you. At the end of the show, we're going to be playing what's called what's called Roby's Round Robin. I hope you're looking forward to that. It's going to be 10 questions I've carefully picked. But until then, let's start with Mpho Mafole's story and remind our listeners of the level of potential graft that he was so keenly exposing within the city of Ekhuruleni. And let's start with Mpho's story for those who are not affair with it.
Graeme, on the 30th of June 2025, Mpho Mafole was the chief auditor of the Ekhuruleni municipality. He was gunned down as he was leaving work that evening. He had just submitted a scathing report, an internal audit report, to the finance director, which actually was scathing of the municipality's conduct in awarding a 1.8 billion rands mobile chemical toilets tender. Mafole said this contract is riddled with irregularities in many respects. It exposes the municipality to risk, litigation risk, and indeed service delivery risk. Please revisit it. 3 days after he submitted this report, Mpho Mafole was shot and killed by izinkabi, one of whom has been arrested and is going through the matter trial. Let us repeat again. The municipality awards these chemical mobile toilets tender that you will find adjoining the squatter camps where there is no sanitation infrastructure. This is a revenue spinner for tenderpreneurs, mainly associated with the local councillors, at 1.8 billion rands per 3-year cycle.
Of course, what struck me about this story, as well as we sort of got a better understanding of the level of complexity that came to trying to mask the potential level of graft that came with this 1.8 billion rand chemical toilets tender within the city of Ekhuruleni, Sikonathi, was this talk of this shadow bid committee. I remember in one of our previous editions of the leads earlier in the year, that really struck me as something quite sinister, is that you can have a whole different committee meeting and basically, rubber stamping things willy-nilly at their own discretion without following proper municipal finance laws.
The existence and the participation of that particular committee in this particular tender is one of the major irregularities that Mr. Mafole had identified, and he made recommendations. Firstly, he said, these people are unaccountable to nobody, and they seem to just have been brought together, and they do not form any part of the structure of the municipality in terms of supply chain management processes. Therefore, they should not exist. Or if the municipality really has decided it does need a pre-bid evaluation committee, which is what it was called, Mpho Mafole and his team said, please regularize the existence of this committee by amending the supply chain management processes to include for the creation of this committee, and 2, get council to to approve those amendments. Then these people can go on to work. But obviously, this was now a bit too late for the contract that was awarded starting the 1st of July 2025, running all the way to the 31st of June 2026.
Yeah, of course, Mafole was only a few weeks, if that months, just a handful of months into this job at the city of Ekhuruleni, coming from the Auditor General's office. And 2 years prior, another Ekhuruleni senior auditor, Sikonathi Mantshantsha, was also shot and killed. And for also looking into the same sort of tender, right, Sikonathi, it would beg the question that it would have been hoped that there would be a better level of protection around Mr. Mafole.
There absolutely should have been. Mr. Sikonathi was killed on the 8th of December 2023, also in Germiston. He also worked in the finance department. He also audited these tenders, in particular the mobile chemical toilets tender. And it would appear, of course, he, in his work, uncovered stuff that he shouldn't have. Just like Mpho Mafole 2 years later, Sikonathi Manthshantsha was assassinated. Let's repeat again, directly for the work that he did for the municipality in the audit department.
Sikonathi, your colleague Carl Cohen has done fantastic work regarding the probe into Boa van Niekerk's murder. Of course, this particular insolvency attorney shot broad daylight. He thought he was having a meeting in his law firm's offices, only for the izinkabi to strike there as well. And here it's understood that Boa, in this particular story, was just trying to ensure that the investors got paid out of a global cryptocurrency scheme, and he too also paid the ultimate price here.
Boa van Niekerk paid the ultimate price after accepting an appointment with what he thought was a new client for his law firm, Smith Sue. And as soon as he introduced himself, when these alleged clients arrived in the boardroom, they shot and killed him. He had been working on the business rescue and trying to wind up the Ponzi scheme that became NTC Global Fund, where about 480 million rands of investors' money had been lost, having been exposed to this cryptocurrency. And Mr. van Niekerk had actually received, Graeme, a call during that week, 5 days prior to his murder, a woman who said, listen, please get off this, please resign from this audit, resign from this business rescue within 5 days or you will be dead. He responded that you are actually whetting my appetite for litigation. And 5 days later, the criminals delivered on the threat and shot and killed him in the manner we have just described. This is a scheme where more than 2,200 investors had lost close to 480 million rands. A gentleman by the name of Thabo Litopa and another one, Marius actually ran this Ponzi scheme. They were the masterminds of it, and it appears Van Niekerk really was got on to touched the wrong feet.
Of course, also follows that of the murders of father and son insolvency lawyers duo Clutter and Thomas Murray, which Kyle has also been closely looking at for the longest time now. And that suspect in that particular case ended up on the wrong side of the gun too, Sikonathi.
Yes, the interesting thing here, Graeme, is that the police had not done any serious investigation into the murder of Thomas and Clutter Merwe, who were also insolvency lawyers that had worked on this alleged theft from Investec. But News 24, Kyle, our colleague in particular, did a whole lot more investigation, more than the police, and his work led not only to the identification of the getaway vehicle in which the unfortunate Merwe were killed, but also identified some of the suspects. And it so happened that in November or late October this year, more than 2 years after the murder of the lawyers, that a guy outside a hospital, Mill Park, was just shot dead in a hail of bullets. It turns out the police were trying to arrest or said they were looking to arrest this person who now died because someone else got to him first. But he had been on the run for more than 2 years, and the police had not made any arrest in that case. They still haven't. There isn't much going on with the Thomas and Clute case, but the one of the suspects was then gunned down by unknown people. And again, there have been so far as at mid-December, there's been no arrest for his murder.
Sure. It just shows you just how critical us as journalists are when it comes to investigating these things, especially as the conversations around the critical skills that are lacking within the SAPS these days to really crack these cases, or even just the political will, because that's where the conversation lies at the moment. Let's talk about this. You know, I found myself last week, Sikonathi, so much on the Gauteng East Rand. I thought it was pretty much done and dusted for the week. Yeah, we're winding down on Friday night, and we get the breaking news, a tip-off that crime fighter witnessed D at the Madlanga Commission, Mr. Marius van der Merwe, whose identity, of course, is now known to us now, was shot and killed, ambushed right at his home in Brakpan. Unprecedented, really. Here was a man nicknamed Flam, or Flame in English. He was known for uprooting illegal mining on Gauteng's East Rand, and of course at that Madlanga Commission had detailed this alleged murder cover-up from 2022, which now we understand obviously implicates the deputy Metro top cop Julius Mkhwanazi. What a story, and what an unfortunate way to round out this year, right?
Graeme, this really is one of these tragic matters and really a tough situation. Also linking the Ekhuruleni municipality, as you have just said, Mr. van der Merwe had implicated senior officials, police officials in that municipality, and he was shot dead on the 5th of December, 2 weeks after having given that testimony to the Madlanga Commission investigating corruption and political interference in the criminal justice system. We are at a point where it appears that whistleblowers or anyone trying to expose criminality and wrongdoing in our public space can expect to be killed. This is what has exactly happened to Flam van der Merwe, who has, of course, who had told. Who had spoken publicly about the possibility that his life was at risk and that he would be murdered anytime.
Right. So, I mean, if we do a very simple counting exercise, we've got Mpho, we've got Simnikiwe, we've got Boer, that's 3. We've got the Murray duo 4 and 5. We've got Marius, and notwithstanding Sikonathi, bringing us all back to the tail end of the COVID-19 pandemic, 2021. Here we see the hit on Babita Deokaran, where a lot of what we're seeing today, the Madlanga Commission, the revelations about the cat, the revelations about Bekicele, all flowing from the investigative work that came in the wake of Deokaran's murder. I mean, yeah, these are just a handful of the people that we're aware of. I'm sure there are so many other cases that just go unreported, if I'm being honest. If we think about things on a very minutiae scale, on a local government scale, I'm sure there's many cases that the media has not come upon where people do good in their communities, they speak out and they pay the ultimate price as well.
You are absolutely correct. One of the most high-profile matters that fit the profile, the list you've just given, was Armand Swart, an engineer in Vereeniging, who was also shot and killed in a case where the police said was mistaken identity. The victim, the intended victim, was a person who blew the whistle on corruption, where billions of rand were actually being stolen from Transnet, and when the assassins were sent, they hit the wrong guy, Arman Swat. Definitely all of them add to many more murders that we will never be able to know about, murders that have never been reported or at least enjoyed this kind of publicity that these unfortunate professionals that we've been talking about have received. Let's repeat this again, Graeme. So in South Africa, about 85 people are reported murdered on a daily basis, and guns play a very big role in that. At least 85 murders a day, if you believe the police statistics.
Yeah, something super frightening. And let's hope, Sikonathi, we can only live in hope that something concrete will be actioned to come out of the Madlanga Commission. Okay, we're going to pivot a little bit. It's one of our favorite words of 2025. We're going to put a little pep in your step, Sikonathi. Are you ready to play Roby's round robin?
Let's hear it.
Okay, I'm going to throw 10 questions at you. You must be prepared to answer them effectively. These 10 questions have been chosen very carefully. They're mostly news related, but they're fun and flippant. Are you ready?
Let's go for it.
What is the one South African scandal, Sikonathi, you still want answers to in your lifetime?
In my lifetime? That's a very interesting one. There are far too many scandals that I have heard of that have gone on. But who ordered the death of Babita Deokaran would be the most important. And who ordered the death of Mpho Mafole would be equally important.
Sure.
Those are the most recent scandals. My mind immediately raced back to the Helderberg around the time I was born and so on. So there's a lot there. There's a lot we can go back to during the last 50 years.
3 excellent answers, Sikonathi. Here comes question 2. If you could put one politician on airplane mode for a month, who would it be?
Jacob Zuma.
Sure. Okay. Which press conference in 2025 emotionally harmed you the most?
Emotionally, none.
Okay. Who's your favorite News 24 colleague? I need an answer. Please be biased.
You shall not get an answer to that question.
Everybody's got to answer. Even I did not answered.
All of my colleagues are quite special. All of them. Yourself included.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much an answer I'd give as well. What's the one story in South Africa this year that deserved the Netflix treatment, Sikonathi?
It's these assassinations we've just spoken about. There's a lot going on there. There's certainly a documentary that should be done about the industry of izinkabi, hitmen, and the guns that are used there. It appears to me that there is a syndicate where people rent out or lease out guns for hire to go and kill people. And someone is collecting and making a lot of money from this. I'm saying that because some of the high-profile murders, including some that we have mentioned in this discussion here, it appears the murder weapons are related. They are one and the same. Now, that also gives you that also tells you the players, the assassins themselves, the izinkabi. There appears to be a very effective syndicate where a go-to hitmen that we have to go. I think that would be very interesting, putting that on Netflix. That story would be incomplete, of course, if you have not looked at the defense teams in the criminal trials. These are again linked. You find the same izinkabi that the defense lawyers for the same izinkabi that were convicted for the death of Babita, they are now representing, for example, the alleged hitmen in the Mpho Mafole case. I know they are also representing the alleged hitmen in the AKA case in Durban. Those guys that were arrested from Swaziland. So there appears to be a lot that could be done in the way of a good documentary, investigating documentary on Netflix.
Such a comprehensive answer from Sikonathi. Which South African song would be the soundtrack to your journalism career?
You got me there. I do not know.
Okay, cool. You've got some time. You've got some time to think about it. You've got some time to think.
No. You got the composer. I think he's Italian, Ennio Morricone, for his musicals in that classical movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Love it. If you're forced to embed with one government department for a year, which one do you think you would survive the longest in?
I've already paid my dues there. I sat with ESCOM for 3 years. I'm not going back.
Sure. You have one wish for South African journalism next year. What is it?
Can it be cleaner? Can it be cleaner in terms of any allegations of impropriety? Can we hopefully get rid of that? All those any kind of impropriety you can think about, and certainly can we create more jobs and have more stability and make sure that the journalists are actually able to get paid real decent salaries so they can do this job very effectively.
All Sikonathi Mantshantsha wants for Christmas is?
A book to read sitting by the beach on the Wild Coast in the Transkei.
Oof, lovely. And final question, fill in the blank. South Africa will officially be okay when?
In the near future.
Okay, cool. I love it. Very optimistic, Sikonathi. Very, very optimistic. I love it.
That's why we do this job.
Absolutely. Nkosi kakhulu, have a fantastic, blessed new year. May the stars shine wherever you hang up your feet for the year.
Have a great one, Graeme. Thank you. All the best to you too.
Remember, so long as there's trusted news first, you'll always have the lead on News 24. Here's to an epic 2026.